free Europe! Damn it! We died to build America!
Welcome to the first episode of the Angry Negro and the Wise Negro podcast. I got my man, Jarrell Lamar. You know what I mean? I've been talking about this for a little bit. We said, let's come together and make some serious content because the youth need it. How you doing today, yo?
Man, I'm blessed, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, yo. How's your week? How was your week in general this week?
Man, I had a uplifting, amazing week. I've been planting seeds to try to get back into prisons institution. I have an old friend who's doing 30 years who got back in contact with me, and he's trying to get home, and at the same time he's trying to get mentally prepared to get back out here. And he got a lot, just from talking to him, he got a lot of work to do. So I've been taking it upon myself to try to give him mental tools that I use to keep me out. And he talked to the warden, he talked to the major who he's cool with. He also spoke with the director of the programs to, try to get me in there, I just need an opportunity to talk so they can see where I'm coming from about this reentry programs and preparing these inmates to become citizens again. And then after that, I talked to a Somalian client of mine who he works for the mayor's office, and I can't remember his title, but they don't call them immigrants, they call them New Americans. So he's an initiative coordinator for the New Americans. And I got him in my chair, and I get anybody in my chair, I'm trying to take them to another level mentally, which a lot of them, they appreciate that. But the ones that can really hang and really, really appreciate it, they grabs hold to it. And, like him, he was like, yeah, well, I need to get you in to talk to somebody because you got some stuff on your mind as far as the community and just understanding and opening up minds and making them think and breaking things down. I got a unique way of doing that. And he appreciated so much that he made a couple calls. One of the guys that he called, I had a conversation with him back when I was in my community activist days. And he that moved up the ranks, so he got more power. But 4 years ago, we spoke, and it was about the Breonna Taylor, what they call it, not memorial, but candlelight visual that I caught him in. And I was like, I broke it down to make it make sense to him. Like, she ain't even from here, and she probably never been here, and we're giving tribute because it's really for the gram and pictures and all that stuff. The mayor was there, and I was like, we should do one for the ones in the Columbus that got killed by police the same way she did. And, he called me the next day. He literally called me, and he gave me opportunity. And when I was done, he was like, you know what, you spoke life into me. So he shot me to this organization called the CARE Coalition. And, and then I get with this guy. I met this guy in the barbershop. And he has this program, a non-profiting program for kids, for summer camp kids, where they'll be talking about, mental things, emotions, teaching them how to cook, teaching them about, literacy as far as financial literacy and digital literacy and exercises and, a whole bunch of things for kids who, ain't got much going on for the summer. So this has been a busy week for me. God has been blowing my ship in a certain direction, and the direction is to help others.
So how important is it to able to give the people game about reentry and get their mindset? How important do you think that is for somebody to get the game on? Just the thoughts of I need to have my mind like this. Somebody telling me what to expect once I get out. How important is that you think to be?
It's as important as you telling your 18-year-old, 21-year-old child that's about to go into the world, leave out the nest. It's the same way. You got to get them, as our jobs as elders, to get them mentally prepared for that world. You just can't open up the door and say, like what a lot of parents do, or the prison systems open the gates and just let you out and figure it out by yourself. Like you got to make a transition from 10 to 20 to 30 years in incarceration to a real world where it's just two totally different worlds. So, proper preparation prevents poor performance, the 5 Ps, that I teach my little kids. I ask them, what's the 5 Ps? They're running off. And when it's time to perform out there, your performance will be up on point once you're properly prepared. So it's very important. You need those mental tools. You need to, what they say in G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. Once we know what we're getting into, we can be more mentally prepared for whatever, instead of just thrown out into the battle and, just toss the gun and, you got to figure it out on yourself. Like, there's a lot to go to it. So it's crucial. It's very crucial to the survival and maintaining the freedom once you're out those gates.
Mm. So how did you readjust from getting out of prison, from doing your bit? What did it take for you to say, I want to stay out of here, out of this cage? How did you change your mindset to be great in society?
I wasn't concerned with anything. My belief is I focus on today, the moments, because that's all we're in a moment. And tomorrow's going to take care of itself. That's what it says in the Bible. Worry about today, because tomorrow's going to take care of itself. And, through trials and tribulations, it shows you, or it's supposed to show a human being how strong they are or how weak they are. Meaning that, you got a lot of work. You either got a lot of work to work on, or you just on point. You're on the right track. Mm-hmm. So I didn't worry about out here surviving and all that, because I'm like, if I could do 15 years and there and do it really on my own, 90% of it on 85% of it, 90% of it on my own, I'm not worried about it. It's all mind over matter. What's going to happen is going to happen, and I know that I'm gonna go through some things, and I just gotta focus on getting through it and getting past the distractions, which was the biggest thing. My first 3 years, I've been out 11 years. My first 4 years, it was nothing but distractions. But once I got my distractions out and I focused on the big picture, which was my daughter in 2016, I got her. I had to, man up and put all the childish games away and start growing into a man. So I was never worried. I was always confident because, like I said, you make it out of the mud, then the dirt ain't going to be so bad.
Mm. That's deep right there, man. So, I thought this was much needed, man, because it's a lot of young boys that go through it, man. They're going through prison and they don't got their mind right of what I'm gonna do when I get out. Am I still gonna be on the same dumb shit, or I'm gonna change my life for the better? And I think you're the person that lived it, done it, got the hat, got the cap, got the pants, and you can tell them the uphill battle they got.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. How I look at it is, as long as I can touch one person or two, then I've done my job. Mm-hmm. So, you just got, they got to have respect for you first and foremost. And it's like, you being a drug addict and I don't have that experience. I really can't. You ain't going to have full confidence in what I'm saying to you because I ain't walked in your shoes. I've been where they're at. So with that being said, in the stories that I have and, how I arrange things mentally for them to understand how important it is. Change don't come till you tired. I break it down like this. Imagine you being you in a dope game and you got 20 customers and each customer is getting $35,000 a year off of you, right? What does it look like for you to try to convince them to get off drugs? Does that make sense?
Nah.
So with that being said, the state gets $35,000 off of each inmate per year. Now, of course, it's a rehabilitation center as they push it, and they got classes and all that. But with those classes and all them programs comes what? Funding. It's all about money. So the key, another avenue of getting money for the prison institution is the revolving door. So we're going to set it up to where, you ain't going to be able to get through without coming back. How? They go through the reentry program at prison, get you ready, re-entering into society. But it's really re-entering into the workforce, because that's all they mainly talk about is you got thugs and street niggas and this, that, and other who ain't never filled out an application, had an interview, filled out a resume, and they teach you all that. That's all good and dandy, but what can you put on a resume that you covered for 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then most of the times when a person do apply for a job, they got to do what? And they're a convict. They got to lie and hope they don't get caught. Because a lot of convicts then got a job and was there 6, 7, 8 months. And what happened? They came back and was like, yo, you got, had a background check and you got this, that, and other. So we got to let you go. So then they're forced to, be discouraged and heartbroken and all that stuff. And they're trying to get another job and they don't want to work at Wendy's or Save-A-Lot or, a grocery store or anything like that. So what happens? They end up going back to the streets. And what happens there? You're either going to get put back in that revolving door or you're going to get put in the grave. So it's like a lose-lose situation. So my thing is, it ain't about getting you ready for the workforce. That's easy. A kid can get a job. Money, there's jobs and opportunities out here. It's about putting your pride to the side. But in order to put your pride to the side, you got to have your mind right. And in order to have your mind right, you got to have your spirit right. Get all that stuff in line and you'll be able to make the right decision to maneuver through this world. Get a person prepared mentally for the distractions that are coming. I can only speak from what I've been through. I left 4 kids. Four in the possible. We talked about that possible, but we ain't gonna go there. 4 in the possible, right? So I left them at the ages of 6, 4, and 2, and now they're 20, 18, or 18, 16, and 14. I wasn't mentally prepared for the damage that my absence did to them, and it all just unraveled in front of me. My issues with my family members, they still on some other stuff, taking me for who I was, but not for who I am. And, that was distractions. I wasn't mentally prepared for that. And most importantly, the convict's biggest downfall when he come home, biggest distraction, women. Women. Now, these guys has been locked up decades, 10, 20, 30 decades, and they coming into a whole new world where the women ain't built like they were built back there, physically or mentally. This is a whole new creature that nobody talks about. I was like 8, I was a decade into my bid, and a guy came back, and I pick people's brains and whatnot. I'm like, what's it like out there? He spoke about the technology. He spoke about just different things in nature, how the world is different. But most importantly, he put a lot of emphasis on the women. He was like, the women are aggressive. That's the only mentality. I've been gone for 15 years. And that's the only thing I had in my head is that I was told that these women are aggressive. I had no clue. So when I get out, I'm dealing with, I'm a fish out of water. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with these females. And they're just all over the place. And I'm just like a kid in a candy store that's really picking bad candy. So we don't, them things that they don't talk about and getting your mind right. And, I want to step in and kind of change that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people, man, that struggle with, like you said, the day in and out of life, the day in out of life when they get re-entered to the society. Sometimes they don't last more than 2 months because they don't know how to act. They don't know what to do with themselves. You know what I mean?
They can't, and not just that, they don't know how to readjust. You gotta reprogram your mind. And if you can't, that's like, remember Shawshank Redemption?
Mm-hmm.
And how the white dude who hung himself, he just couldn't deal with it. He wanted to go back. And there's a lot of inmate convicts that want to go back because it's much easier. You get 3 million, you got hundreds and hundreds of thousands that live better in there than they do out here. Mm-hmm. You get 3 meals in a cot, you get, you get rec, you get, zoom zooms and whams, you ain't got no bills, you ain't got no stress in prison outside of staying out the way. And it is not hard to stay out the way in prison. If you can't stay out the way in prison, that's because you can't get right. But it's so fucking relaxing in prison that a person get more comfortable out, in prison than out there. So it's a lot of different things. Some just, they just can't get right. You got more is not going to make it than those that's going to succeed. So let's focus on the ones and give them everything they need. Not just to get them ready for the reentry programs as far as reentering in the workforce, but to also get them ready for the real world, because it's really real out here and it's very complex.
So, so with the reentry program, do they teach you, like, give you some kind of skills while you're in there you can bring to society? Is there any way you can learn a job trade or something in the
Yeah,
reentry
I got my
program?
license there. They have trades. I have a friend, my good brother, he did like 19, 18 years, somewhere around there, and he got his CDLs up in there in London, not London, Pickaway. And this dude, man, he making over 100,000 a year off of driving trucks. You know,
Mm.
they got all types of different, trades that you can get, HVAC, and they need to invest more. I don't know what everything else they have, but yeah, it's a rehabilitation center, right? That's the title. And
Mhm.
it allowed, it ain't their job it's their job to give you the tools. You can lead a horse to water, can't make them drink. They made the pond, put the water in there, and allow the inmates to, the horses to drink. It's up to the horse if they're gonna drink or not. But with him and everybody else, you take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, because you ain't got nothing but time. If you ain't got nothing but time, either that time is going to do you or you can do the time. It's either or. So if you do the time, then you're going to get something out of it. And then they got other classes like programs like critical thinking. And that's where I learned I over E, intelligence over emotions. And thinking is, if you know better, you do better. Little things like that. Those are all mental tools that help and it helped me to this day, along with my OGs who put me up on games with like the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, and little things else that we take that's not in the program. So we got to go out there and get it and look for it, and we find it and install it. And they got meditation classes. They got all types of things. You just got to be able to do the time and not let the time do you.
And that's the key, man. And I hopefully what we're talking about can stop somebody, a young boy, from going all the way and waste his time, because you can't get your time back, and you really that time sometimes beat brothers down, man. Like I said, I got countless cousins that fall on that generational curse of prison. They can't find a way. I told them, man. I tell everybody, man, it's 9 to 5 save lives. Like you eventually gonna get caught. Eventually gonna get caught on some dumb shit. Eventually when you get out, some people gonna be hating on you. You gotta get ready, your mindset, and you gotta stop hanging around with the same crowd. You know what I mean? If I know Jarrell, he's on that stick time, he like to, rob people. I can't hang out with him.
Yeah.
You gotta change your circle and you gotta change your mindset if you want to succeed. That's for
That's the most.
anybody.
If your support team ain't on point, then you're not going to be on point, because you need those. I had one girl, my support team. I had a really good support team, encouraging me, pumping confidence in me. And I had one guy who I was in prison. He kind of tried to lead me down the wrong road in my first summer. But I realized a real friend ain't going to lead you into no goofy situations. They're going to talk you out. I had a female, my first female I was with. I came out selling weed, little bags and whatnot, and she was like, and she was a smoker. So and most females ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna put away their wants and needs for the greater needs. I need you to be out here with me. I don't, most females gonna be like, yo, I don't know why you ain't gonna stop. You gonna stop selling weed? That don't make sense, because they're benefiting off of it. But she was like, just go to work. That's all you got to do. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're gonna violate your parole. It ain't worth it. It don't make sense for you to do it. You got kids. She broke it all the way down, and you need people like that on your team. That's gonna pull you to, when you're going straying off left, they're gonna pull you to the right because they know that's the right thing to do. And most don't understand that. They call any and everybody they homie, that's my nigga. But is your nigga gonna do what's right for you? Is your nigga gonna tell you what you need to do and what you need to hear, not what you want to hear?
Mm.
So the supporting team is extremely, that's the foundation that'll get the ball rolling, and you can build off of that.
That's hard, man. Support is everything, man. You know what I mean? You're strong as your team you have around you. Like, and I always admit this, man. Like, my shortcomings, I try to find somebody that helps me. You know, I know they ain't gonna take advantage of me. Like, I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. So you gotta be around people that know something. It's all about networking. It's all about relationships, right? If I know this motherfucker's good at taxes and I got tax questions, nothing wrong with me. Don't make me less of a man to ask questions. And that's what our problem is. We too big to ask. Our pride gets in the way of us asking questions, and you know what I mean, or somebody that doesn't look like you. I met a lot of people that don't look like me, put me on a lot of game. like I knew a lot of people don't look like nothing like me. But hey, Rod, let me tell you about what's going on with this company right here. This, if you want to do stock, this company right now, you can buy the shares. It's about to split. He didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? A white person don't got to do that, but it's some people out here that see that you got a good heart and they try to put you on game.
I call that EOTO. EOTO. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
You know, it's our job. They got a saying, the game's supposed to be sold, not told. That's a selfish state of mind. The game is to be told, not sold. It really ain't. So if you with someone smart, they say you're supposed to always be around people smarter than you. If you're the smartest one in the room, then you're in the wrong place. So if you're around somebody that's smarter than you, then they're going to respect the fact that you're asking questions because you want to gain knowledge. Communication comes, you know, it leads to understanding. Well, you can't understand if there's no communication. So a closed mouth don't get fed. You got to ask questions. That's where we at now. You know, we think about back in the old days, the Old Testaments, as I call them, because we already entering the New Testaments. Nobody asked questions. You weren't allowed to ask questions. A parent or an adult told you about something or did something, told you let's go to Sunday school. You couldn't ask why we got to go to Sunday school every Sunday. You know, you couldn't ask questions like that. Like, you know, now we live in a time where, you know, you're supposed to question everything. Everything has to be questioned. It has to make sense because you can't dumb us up no more. We on another level. We're woke. There's so many human beings that are woke and they understand what wokeness does. It brings in clarity and understanding.
And that's definitely important of knowing, getting the information, man. Like I've seen, like I said, countless people around me get institutionalized, and I see a lot of younger people, you know what I mean, younger than me in my group. They go get their first bid in, right, in the county, and they come out. Oh, look, I'm swole. I'm built for this. I stand 10 toes down. You don't glorify doing stupid shit. I never thought that's you hard because you get locked up. The old man always told me the smartest nigga don't get locked up.
Smartest nigga stays free. He know how to think. But have you ever asked a person how much, you know, talking about an old school who did time, and they'll tell you how many numbers they got, and they got some pride in, like, man, I did 4 numbers. Like, I'd be ashamed to even tell somebody I did 4 numbers, 4 to 6 numbers. Like, you really are consistent and not getting it. You are really consistent, can't get right. And you don't even get it.
And I see countless brothers, man. They come out and they got their mind like they 15. No, nigga,
you know what?
Nigga, you just did 40, but your mind is 15. You gotta.
I'm gonna explain that. That is so true. That is so true. Because when I got out, I got locked up when I was 24. In 3 years, I fell out with my family members, and because I was on I wasn't on the type of stuff that they was on. I still had that prison, you know, garment on me, that you know, that aggressiveness in me and whatnot. And my mother was like, when you came home, because I got out when I was like 34. So when I hit like 42, she was like, when you came home, you was acting like you were 24. And I was. And it was like, and I talked to other inmates, it's like time just waited for me to come out, and then I just picked up. Because like I said, I couldn't relate to those that, you know, was my age, because they was already out here doing what they doing. I felt out of place around people my age. But then when I got with, you know, my son and his people, and all the young people that I was drawing and, drawing attention, that was being drawn to me, I start feeling comfortable around them. Like we all, I'm going to clubs. I'm 43 years old and I got like 4 to 5 females that I'm kicking it with at clubs. Not on they want me to come with them and stuff like that. But I felt more close to them because it was like we in the same boat. I may be 42, or I may be 40 in my 40s, but I don't know what's going on out here. Just as they don't know, and they're in their 20s. We're all learning how this world works. So yeah, my mentality, I had a young spirit. My spirit until this day, I fight with it because I'm like, I keep drawing these young energies, and I got young people calling me and wanting to come over and kick it because a lot of them they be like, I never had a dad. Most of the guys, I never had a dad. I never had a big brother. I never had and they look at me as that OG because I understand them. I related to them because I was so close to them when I first came out that, they felt comfortable and they just, it'd be like that. That's just not anyone. That's a lot of people. Time waits. And then you get out your mind. That's why I say age is nothing but an indicator of how long a person been on this earth. I was on this earth at the time for 38 years, but my mind and my spirit was of a 24-year-old.
Like, how long did it take you to get past that and to get to present time, man? Because, like I said, man, that incarceration get a nigga like they in the Matrix, right? Because you don't got the sign of time. Time is just keep on going and going, and you start seeing like, yo. And then I be hearing, like, I talk to a couple of my cousins and stuff. They be like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm about to be getting out, yo. You already know it's up. Like, nigga, you got to change your mind. Like, nothing, like you do know these niggas listen to this phone. You do know they know all the slang.
Everything.
They got them niggas hip. They know all the slang.
They're professionals. They get paid to do what they're supposed to do.
So I be telling them, I say, yo, if you gotta imagine, right? You jumped off the porch at 17. Just say you jumped off the porch 15. Just say 15. You gave 30-something of your years of your life, and you keep on getting caught. It's time to change up, man. If you gave 30 years out of the 15, you just say 45. You gave 30 of that. Out of that 50, that 30 years out of that 15 of you living, like, it's time to change. It's time to change up. It's time to get a job. And I'm starting to see, man. And when I talk to people that, never had a job and they 40-something years old, they be like, damn, hey, Rod, all these taxes come out your check? Yeah, nigga. It's like, everything is always going to be a hierarchy. Like, I don't care if you go with a business, the man going to ask you, how much you made this year?
Mm-hmm. Let me get my cut.
You gotta get all the receipts. Yeah, I got it right here. I had to pay for the equipment right here. If you got your own business or your subcontract, I did this right here. Blah blah blah.
You gotta dot your I's and cross your T's. Like, paperwork.
It's nothing free in life. Like, nothing is free. So when they get so discouraged, you gotta, if you've been working a 9 to 5, you would knew this. And sometimes you be like, damn, yo, if you had put all that mindset of hustling into a job, you might have something. Now you're working backwards. You only got maybe 15 years of your peak body. And you like, damn, what happens if you get sick? You never worked in your life. Your check's gonna be small from Social Security.
See, they don't tell them the things that you got to talk to people about, because that don't hit a person unless you plant that seed, and they don't. That's what part of letting them out the gate. But for me, back to your question, I just rewinded my tape when I felt pressure of tomorrow and what I'm gonna do. I just rewind my tape, and that's my movie tape. And I look at my memories, and I recall that it took me 7 years to start doing time. The first 7 years, time was doing me. I was still, work in progress. Within 4 years of my time, my first 4 years, I was still, start getting turning that corner. So, after the 7.5 time point, everything started being smooth. So I just knew that right there gave me the confidence to be patient and trust the process. It's going to take me a minute it ain't going to take me, I'm not one that's hard to adapt. I can go in any situations and just really adapt. Once I get the flow of how things are, I'll get in where I fit in and do what I do. But with this one, I knew I had to be patient. So I got out November 2012. I'm going to say November 2016, it kicked in. It really kicked in. And mainly what really sped the process up was when I got my daughter. And I knew what the assignment was. An assignment was, you need to get yourself together. You need to just clear out all the distractions, focus on being prepared to be a father, being a dad. So, right there, like if you have something that you can, like that was my ground. I needed that grounding right there. But if you don't have a grounding, whether it's your kids or just staying free, because those are two things. I'm going to do it for my kids, or I'm going to do it so I can stay free and beat the system. If you ain't got that mind state, or you ain't got those things working with that you got to work with, it's going to be hard because you're going to get caught up because you're not focused. You got to have something to focus on and build off of that. I had, my daughter, which was, it wasn't about me worrying about me going back to prison. That was, change don't come till you tired. And I stopped putting myself in situations that would have got me into prison and looked at the bigger picture and focused on her, building a life for her. So you got to have something, whether it's a child or it's just having love for yourself and realizing that that's nothing that you want to do. You want to be out here and you're going to do whatever it takes to stay out here.
Because at the end of the day, you knew your daughter needed you at the very end. And we get to the point of, man, I've seen it firsthand, man. Niggas not take care of their kids and going, put the streets over their kids, man. And, it'd be sick because niggas they be cool with be preying on the kids. They don't talk about that, Lamar. They don't talk about the nigga you would put work in, seeing your daughter grow up. She's 16 now. She's 16, 17 now. Old head, look at her. Damn, she looking fine. Niggas don't talk about that. The dirty game about that street game. If you ain't gonna take care of it, somebody else gonna take care of it. You know
Pretty
what I mean?
much. And they cool, and a lot of them cool with it. They know it.
Niggas cool with it.
Them niggas ain't stupid, man. They know it. They know it. They know that they can't make it out here. They can't find a female to help them, do what they need to, take care of them, which a lot of them do. So, why not go back to prison? I don't care. I don't go back to prison anyway. I could be taken care of. It's sweet in prison. It really is sweet. Compared to out here, it's sweet. It's relaxing. It ain't stressful. And compared to all out here, yeah, it's sweet.
It'd be so sad, man, to see the dumb shit. You know what I mean? I know countless niggas right now. I'm gonna take my homie's charge for him. No, nigga, you just want to take that charge so you can escape society, and you want to
do it for the streets, for street cred, for street cred.
For the streets. The streets love me. The streets don't got no pension, nigga. the streets don't want your old ass. They with the young bull. They better get more time at the young nigga.
Yeah, that's only thing the streets want to do for an old motherfucker is bury him in prison or bury him in the ground. That's the only thing. You just in the way. You're doing too much.
And that's the sad thing about it, man. And I really think we need to start taking our mental health serious, man, because in our minds, it don't mature. It takes for a while for black men minds to mature and to change and be a leader. I know a lot of 20-year-old, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60 years old. They're followers. You want to, how many times I hear an old nigga say, man, oh, that's my homeboy. How you looking up to a nigga that's younger than you? Mark, how are you gonna look up to a young nigga that you older than?
That's sad. That mean that young nigga doing way better than you. He doing so better than you that you look up to him. It's supposed to be the other way around. But the problem is, like, we got to reprogram our brains. That's the whole goal. If we can reprogram, unplug out of such certain matrices and plug into more, you know what I'm saying, that's going to benefit us, then, you know, we're ahead of the game. And that's why, you know, I look at it as where my mind is at and how I'm designed is I got taken out of the matrix at 24 and then got plugged into the prison matrix and then got taken out of that. And when I got plugged back into the real matrix, the current matrix, at the age of 38, the shit was just all different. We wasn't operating off of the old ways. And a lot of people my age and in the 40s that grew up in them old days, they can't make the transition from the old days to the new days, especially those in prison. If the ones that's already out here been going along day for day and they can't make the transition into the new world, because there's a complication of moving from old to new. Because a lot of older people, they be stuck in their ways. Oh, I miss the old days. And they just always looking in the mirror at the old days that's in the past while, you know, trying to drive forward. You having problems doing that. You can't do that. So imagine what it is for a person who's been gone for 10 to 20 to 30 decades in prison, and he come out to this whole complete, it's more complex as ever than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So you got to be able to unplug and replug into a matrix that makes more sense, and that's going to adapt, you know, help you adapt into this world. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck. You're gonna be so stuck.
And the shit be so Back to the Future for these niggas, man. Especially the niggas got hit, let's say the 80s, right? Them niggas got locked up in the 80s and they get light out to like 2020, 2017, the late 2020s. They be like, damn, what the fuck is a cell phone looking like this?
Right.
So, like what the fuck is a computer? You know what I mean? Like,
man, all right, man. I was confused when I first came out. I'm like, what does WTH mean? What is all this? Why are they misspelling words? Like, it took me a minute, and I became what I call a grammar police. You know, talking about, because, you know, young people, they don't change. See, what they fail to realize is how new the world is. And the young generation has created our own language. We don't write words the way, like, we torture, we slice up the dictionary, the English language. We slice it up. And the whole world follows in with these acronyms, and we use acronyms to speak. I didn't understand what the hell an acronym was when I first came home, but I was able to adapt. And now I'm in the flow to where you put anything acronym down and I'll break it down. You put a 10-letter acronym and I'll break it down because I'm able to adapt. I was able to unplug and get put in the position to be plugged into current times. That I don't pay attention to the old. My whole thing is moving forward. And you got to have that mentality. Otherwise, you're going to be driving and you're going to look in the mirror view and looking behind, trying to see what's behind you, and you're going to crash.
And you know what I mean? And I appreciate us having this conversation, man, because I want these people to be prepared about these challenges they gotta, you know what I mean, see, man, once they get out, man. And you, like I said, you're the perfect person to talk about this because there's so many places you can get money, man. There's so many opportunities for these apps, and if you don't work for nobody, go jump on that program like you just talked about, that CDL program at the workforce. They help you out. Like, if you don't want to do that, man, find out how you get in the entry level of being a plumber or learn heavy equipment for construction. Niggas gotta keep on building. Niggas gonna keep on buildings gonna keep on getting put up every day.
Yeah.
So
and they don't see that they're losing in the game, man. This is all a game. It's all a game. In the game, the name of the game is to stay out of prison. Beat the system. That's the name of the game. Nothing else matters for a convict but beating the system. And if you don't understand, and most don't, and they don't understand it because way more, I would say, just ballpark figure, for every 100 that makes it, you got like 5 to 8,000, 100,000 that ain't gonna make it. It's not. It's really bad. And today's world in prison is worse. Them boys are on Suboxones and they're on this new, K2 or whatever the heck, and they just out in there being zombies. They're being zombies.
And all this, hopefully, man, people can learn, man. This criminal justice system, man, ain't nothing to play with, man. And it takes for a motherfucker. Sometimes it be too late, and you get them L's. Them L's is you was around them niggas with them L's on their letters. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by L's?
Life.
Oh yeah.
Like no opportunities, man. Like
Yeah.
and like somebody was telling me, I was watching Wallow, man. I like Wallow, man. You know, he by himself because he talks some real shit.
Yeah, he do.
Be off $1 million game, man. He said, man, the motherfuckers that the most rowdy niggas on the street, man, become the most respectful niggas in jail. You know, you shoot them up to deleted 8 niggas the other day.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. This is where they get it twisted. You know how back in the Al Capone gangster days, they were in their neighborhoods and they felt like they were respected, right? The whole neighborhood would respect them, right? Why do they respect them?
Power.
Out of fear.
Fear, yeah.
Fear. People mistake fear. Fear and respect is two different things. It's two different ball games. Respect is earned. Fear, and when you are fearing something, you're gonna respect it because you don't want no smoke, because you know what that person gonna do. You respect the cop out of what? Fear. Yeah, you respect an adult that you don't know out of what? Fear.
Fear.
So, you know, with that being said, the fear that they push out into society and everybody's seeing when they get to the joint, oh yeah, they're gonna be respected because they know that that person don't play. That's why the weak get ran over and the strong gets respected. But who wants respect out of fear? Don't respect me because you fear me. Respect me because I've given you reasons to respect me. And they don't look at it like that. See, you gotta look at, you know, it's like you in a crowd and somebody gets into it, you get into it with somebody and they having a nigger moment and they trying to draw you into having a nigger moment, but you ain't on that type of time because you already got your mind right and you understand that this nigga can't think because he's emotional. So what you got to do? I got to think for him because a lot of times you got to think for those who can't think for themselves. But all the crowd is going to be looking at like, man, that nigga soft. That nigga soft. Okay, majority going to look at it that way because majority are going to the left not knowing that they ain't right. But the few that's in there that's on that right side, they're gonna look at you like that gentleman got that he did the right thing. I respect him more because he handled that like a what? Like a man. And in order to act like a man, you gotta think like a man. In order to think like a man, you gotta think on an intelligent level. And if not, then if you ain't thinking on an intelligent level, you on an emotional level. Thinking like a male, what I call him, a feminine male. A feminine energy possessing male, because you all in your feelings, going back and forth. Like, come on now.
Yeah, man, and like, man, that's why I tell my son, man, the key way men survive, the biggest, strongest man don't survive in the jungle because he got a short life, man. The most aggressive nigga never wins. The smartest nigga survive, and in every situation, the smartest nigga survive. Because he doesn't he don't depend on this, he depends on this.
Yeah, the aggressive nigga he's basing his movements and his thought process off his emotions. The smart nigga, he's being smart with it. He's being calculating. He's figuring things out, and he know how to conduct himself to make sure he stays on that intellectual level. You're gonna let the monkeys be monkeys. We're gonna stand up here and be the the ringmaster and control those monkeys.
And that's why I said, man, don't be a puppet. Don't be a puppet, man. Don't let nobody pull the strings on you. Always use that mind. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And a lot of the streets are puppeteers. They're always pulling the strings. And I'm seeing, like, I'm seeing firsthand, man, just a lot of people dying because they don't use the mind. And they can save themselves if they use their mind, man. You know what I mean?
Man, it takes 3 seconds to make the wrong decision.
And sometimes, man, I tell everybody, man, always respect everybody. Especially where I come from, man, it's a small town. I'm just going to be sure. I don't know how big Columbus is, but it's always somebody watching. You know what I mean? There's always somebody watching. Oh, man, Lamar right here, he in the chicken box for over wherever in Columbus. He in the chicken box right now. Oh, really? Skirt! Like, it only takes that, You know what I mean? Somebody, you know what I mean? So always tell people, man, don't be no pussy, but always, you know what I mean? Don't be on no dumb shit. Don't be on no crash bandicoot type shit. Keep your hands to yourself. If it's necessary, you got by any means, you got to defend yourself. But don't be the bully nigga. Because the bully nigga always get the lead in him.
Man, you building up a debt. That's what a lot of them don't understand. Like karma has a twin. Karma's a twin. Has a good twin and it has a bad twin. The good twin blesses you for the good that you put out, right?
Mhm.
And the bad twin collects the debt of the bad things that you do. Like people don't understand, man. You're building up debts when you put out bad energy that you're gonna have to pay eventually. You don't know when you're gonna pay it, how long you're gonna pay it, or what the case may be, but just you know what you did. So when something bad happens to you, something messed up happens to you down the line, you gotta accept it for what it is. You gotta man up and accept it for what it is. Ain't no why is this happening to me? Why I can't get ahead? Why, like we all get what we deserve, good and bad. If we get the good, if we get the good that we deserve,
another thing, man,
then we get the bad.
Yeah, and another thing is, we as parents, we gotta stop celebrating this shit about our babies doing dumb shit.
Oh yeah,
that's another thing in another subject. But mothers, I know y'all sometimes y'all be doing it by yourself, but we gotta celebrate and you gotta hold our kids accountable. If they on dumb shit, you gotta tell them, "Hey, baby, you want some dumb shit."
and not just that, you can't. You gotta allow a village to do what it do, because it takes a village to raise a child. You know, you get kids where you get parents where they know they ain't doing a good job, and their pride is all in the way that they want to allow somebody to step in and do what they, you know what I'm saying, get that child together. Oh, that's my child. I got this. Like, no, you don't. You really don't. You need help, and I'm here to help you. So, like, it's a lot of work to be done, and you know, I just want to do my part and try to reach those who want to move forward, because it's crabs in a bucket. You know, it ain't gonna be easy getting out the bucket, because once you get to the top, you know, you might have to struggle to get your whole body out, because you're gonna have a crab hanging on to you trying to pull you back down. So it's not easy getting out of the bucket, but you know, what they say, whatever comes, anything that comes hard don't come easy. Is that what it is? Anything worth having don't come easy. That's what it is. Anything worth having won't come easy. You got to go put work in to get it, and you got to want it. And a lot don't want it, and a lot is not everyone. You got some that really want it, but they don't have no sense of direction on how to go about getting it. So, you know, reentry programs, whether it's in prisons, whether you're going to the juvenile to try to talk to them, whatever the case may be, there have to be places that are designed to allow these people to come in and feel safe in talking about these things. Because without communication, we can't understand. If you can't understand, you can't help.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it can't be scholar niggas. You got to talk to a nigga at their language point. You understand what I mean? And that's the biggest problem. You can't be hitting these niggas with these big words. You gotta talk to their level. If you know a nigga's Native American, you gotta talk that native tongue.
If you're from the streets, you got to be able to talk streets. Because if I'm talking streets to somebody in the streets, they're going to be more receptive and respecting me because I'm speaking their language than somebody who ain't from the streets trying to talk to them.
Exactly, man. Exactly, and that's definitely serious right there, man. And again, man, this is the first episode of the Angry Negro and the Wise Negro podcast, man. And it's gonna be every Sunday at 7:30, man. If you'd like to be a guest, please like, share, and subscribe. Lamar, let these niggas know what's going on with you, man. Where they can get at with you with social media, and stuff like that, man.
You can get a hold of me, Facebook, Jarrell, JOR-EL, Lamar, LAMAR. I'm also same tag on Instagram, same profile. I'm not hard to find. Email is Jarrell with 2 L's, LAMAR 21 Yahoo. Send me something. Right now, I'm working on getting a whole bunch of young kids from the age of 6 to 13 to, accompany me to this new adventure that I'm about to have this summer with a kids summer camp. So, those that are watching on live Facebook and, Columbus, Ohio, yeah, that's insurance, Medicaid, Care Source, they pay for it. So if you want to give your child an opportunity to advance in life and get what he's not getting at home because he don't have a father figure, we're creating there's things out there that's created for those situations for boys and females. We want them to have fun, and we want them, we want to plant some seeds in their heads. So, if you got a kid that needs a role model for the summer or some things to do, get you out. It's from, I think, 8 to 12. Yeah, 8 to 12, Monday through Friday. Just, inbox me, and, I'll send you the paperwork, fill it out. Insurance pays for everything, Medicaid, Care Source. So give your kids a chance. If they say if you build it, they will come. So it's built. So yeah, let's get it.
Okay, yes, yeah, and again, man, I appreciate for everybody who watched today, man. And if you didn't watch, hit the replay. Go back in the video, like, put some comments in it, say, do you agree with what we was talking about? If you disagree, put that also in there too, man. I appreciate that. I love the feedback because I think this conversation is needed for the youth and the old heads and the young boys my age in the 30 range to get thought-provoking conversations as men just have a conversation. So again, man, see us next Sunday, 7:30. We'll be here at the Angry Negro and the Wise Negro podcast, man. And we be out, man. Hopefully y'all have a good rest of your weekend. I appreciate you, Lamar, coming on. And let's keep having the fun, man. And we're out.